Hi everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. My name is Sonal Sharma and I am working as functional consultant with BISP Solutions. In the series of ARCS video, today we are going to cover the different case scenario for accounts receivable to general ledger reconciliation. Accounts receivable is the asset of the company where the receivables amount is going to be matched with the billing in the general ledger. Okay, so here the mismatching process, you need to understand that what is the reason for difference arises. There are three types of reasons you can say. The first one, I am just giving a brief idea towards the differences arises is the first one, that suppose the general entry was made to the general ledger but it is bypassed in the subsidiary. That means in the general ledger, that particular entry is made but not passed to the subsidiary. The second one is there should be in the difference in the dates. Okay, one is for in the general ledger it is for different month, whereas in sub ledger it is for different month. The third one is that in case suppose at the time of the transaction in general ledger it is recorded correctly, but at the time of posting to the sub ledgers it is passed or posted to any different receivable. Suppose that amount has to be receivable from Mr. A, but it is wrongly posted to Mr. B. So that is the reason why we are going to reconcile for accounts receivable reconciliation to general ledger. In this case scenario, we are going to use this particular profile as you can see, and the format we are going to use is accounts receivable here. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's move to the application here. The format, for going to the format, we need to go to configuration part and going to the accounts receivables. As the amount is basically received by the organization on behalf of the accounts receivable, we are moving to the accounts receivable format. So here the method is balance comparison, as there are two systems. The one is source system, the second one is subsystem, that is general ledger, and sub ledger, that is accounts receivable. So we are going to compare these two so that we can understand the reason of why we are going to reconcile this and what is the reason for unexplained differences here. So this is what the format we are going to use here. The general ledger adjustment to GL and balancing, beginning balances. These are the important balances here. You can also hide any of them which is not required for your, organization purpose practices. So it depends on the organization's practice. You can provide also instruction, attributes, questions, and rules here related to this particular format. Now moving to the profile here. While moving to profile, I already created one profile that is, let's have a look to the, profile we selected is accounts receivable general ledger. Okay, so I'm going to search this profile, that is account receivable general ledger. Okay, so here you can see this is the profile I already created to show you. This is the account ID. The name of account profile is account receivable general ledger reconciliation. This is for reconciliation about account reconciliation total to general ledger with unpaid customer billings. Okay, here you need to provide the process is balance sheet process. The risk rating is medium. The account type is account receivable, which has the normal balance of debit. The maximum age limit is for 20 days. Here, the status of this profile is active. The organizational unit is North America, which you can select or edit from here. You can select the format as account receivable, where the method is balance comparison method is attached here. For auto reconciliation here, the balance is zero is required, as in the cases where the general ledger to accounts receivable balances, where in that case where the balances are zero. So those reconciliation can be automatically reconciled. We can also make it, let's make it a balance is zero and no activity. Suppose any profile or reconciliation is having zero balance and there is no activity for the year. So in that case, the auto reconciliation can be made. Here you can provide for instruction as well. As you can see, if there are discrepancies analytically looking at the account to see, it appears that all it makes sense, reversals have cleared and there are no large items further required explanation. So that means only in case there is no such a big amount or large amount is further required to explain, the rest, the level of risk is medium here. So you can provide for workflow as well. You can provide for preparer in the already, in the access control part, you already created those users. You can provide it from here, and you can provide for the frequencies which was, provided or created at the time of configuration in the application, whether your organization for this particular reconciliation of profile, whether it is going to reconcile for monthly or quarterly or half yearly or yearly. You can also provide that what is scheduled from close date and start day or duration for that particular reconciliation to the preparer as well to the reviewer. You can provide the duration here for the maximum limit. You can provide the reviewer from here also. You can change it from here. So this is what the workflow provided by you. Here, the administrator needs to provide for the rate type, whether this is accounting or alternate or corporate reporting, any rate which would you want to take for the organization's functional purpose, and the currency can also be provided. That what is the functional currency here. In case of access, it is optional to give commentator or viewers. It is not really mandatory, but in the workflow, the prepare and reviewer is the mandatory person. Can provide attributes from here. You can also provide the rules from here. As one rule is, put here at the time of creating the reconciliation profile, that prevent reconciliation rejection. In case the reviewer status is blank, in that case the automatic, the rejection of reconciliation cannot be done. So this is the rule provided here. I am going to save and close this profile, and let's move to the period section. So I am going to, create reconciliation for suppose August period. Okay, this period is open, so I am going to import the data. Here we are using the balance comparison method, so that's why there must be two systems. So we need to, upload two datas. So first one is for source system. See, as you can see, the profile is already, the file is already created in the CSV file. So I'm going to create it from here, and the balance type is the source system. This is for August period. This is for functional, currency bucket is given here, and the file delimiter is comma separated file. I am going to import it here. So this is my source system profile I provided. As you can see here, this is showing the pending status. So I am going to refresh it. Yes, this is the completed status. Again, I am moving to the pre-mapped balances. I'm going to import the subsystem. So this is how I selected. And again, it is for subsystem. Okay, do remember this thing. If you're going to make it a source system, once again, this can be overlap the previous data. Okay, you can select the period from here. The currency bucket is functional, and the comma separated file is the file delimiter. So I am going to import this once again. So this is how we are going to import the data. So here you can see that there are two datas over here. One is for source system, one is for subsystem. Okay, so this is done. Now moving to the profile once again to create the reconciliation here. So I am moving to the accounts receivable general ledger. Okay, this is our profile name. I'm going to select this. I'm going to create reconciliation for this particular profile with the balance comparison method. Okay, so I created this, I think, for August period. Okay, so I selected August, and then for selected profile, I am creating this reconciliation. Okay, so this is how the reconciliation is created successfully. Now I can show this in the list of reconciliation at the home page in reconciliation card. Here you can see. I need to change period here so that I can see the reconciliation. Okay. So this is the most recent reconciliation created. Here you can see the balances is source system balance has 55,000 US dollars, whereas the subsystem balance has 50,000 US dollars for this particular reconciliation. Now moving to the preparer's account so that he can provide for the explanation or adjustment for this particular reconciliation of accounts receivable general ledger reconciliation for this profile for August period. Okay, so I am logging in as the, sorry, it is not taking the password here. I need to select it. So this is the home page of the preparer. You can see the list of reconciliation from here. Here I need to change the period as it is already selected for April. So I'm going to make it August. So this is the reconciliation already created by the administrator. I am going to open this period and I am going to show you that how does it look like. See the general ledger, the source system balance is providing for 55,000 US dollar, whereas the third party subsidiary, that means subsystem, is providing the 50,000 US dollar. So here the unexplained difference is there of 5,000 US dollar. Here the preparer, that means the Frank Taylor, where the status is open, he is going to provide for the adjustment whether in GL or in subsidiary, wherever he wants to give the explanation according to the research he had done. He can provide for the explanation. So I am going to provide the explanation in the general ledger. So I am providing is that for the description part, short description, we are providing that that particular invoice is the double entry is made. Double entry is made. That means for any of the suppose invoice number this uh, was wrongly entered twice. This is what explanation is given by the preparer. Here the impact, here you can select whether the general entry is required or not and what would be the close date. Here I am going to provide the difference, that is 5,000 US dollar. So here I am going to saving it. Okay, so this is the explanation can be provided by the preparer. He can also attach any attachments in case if it is required. Suppose the preparer is required to attach any of the profiles. Suppose I am going to provide this file as attachment. So I did this and save it for the reviewer purpose. So this is how he can also provide for the comments here related to this explanation. So these are the powers preparer has related to this. And once this can be done, you can see the transaction is showing here with the description. He can submit this particular reconciliation to the reviewer. So here you can see this is how the reconciliation of accounts receivable to general ledger can be done. So there is no unexplained differences can be seen here and it is pending with the reviewer. So this is it for today's video. Today we learned how to reconcile account receivable with general ledger reconciliation. So this is it for today's video. Thank you.